This video, I'm going to be sharing with you the holographic manifestation process, and I'm going to show you why this is more powerful than most of what you've heard before. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you that of understanding the holographic manifestation process, which goes beyond most law of attraction teachings, understanding really the mechanism for the way reality works, so that if you want to change something, you know exactly how to go about that in a way that is really in alignment with the way things work. Now, for this process, let's first off understand what holographic even means. What does that actually even curtail? And when we think of holographic, think of it like a hologram. When you look at a hologram, you may see a certain image. Now within that image, there'll be the same image at a smaller level. So it's almost like the macrocosm, the microcosm. It's an accumulation of all of those things that then make up that one bigger picture. Now, in a similar type way, they have found that many of the molecules, much of how we interpret our reality, there is different levels of this holographic type nature within us. If you were to look at the meridians on our body, for example, you would see that the way that it works is there's certain nerves that go through us that correlate with certain organs on our hands. Same thing with our feet. And there is correlation that we're able to see that. And if you look at even the idea of us being over 70% water, and you look at the planet herself as being over 70% water, it's a very similar correlation because reality itself is holographic in nature. By nature, that's how things work. So it's like there's just different levels to it. If you take it down to the microcosm, you then see that there are cells inside of your body that have white blood cells. We have that of the cancerous cells, disease cells, and there's constantly this mixture going on in our body of this interaction. And in the same way, we're going through that in our own daily lives. Now, at a certain level, we could even expand it a little bit further back and maybe notice that the Earth is rotating around the sun, which could be another molecule in a grander scheme of things that we can't even perceive of right now. It's just kind of cool to think about. Now, the reason I say all this is just to show you kind of what holographic means. Holographic means it's a part inside of the whole, but it's also the whole itself. So like you are not just the drop in an ocean, but you are also the ocean in a drop. Now, that's a very empowering way of looking at life in general. And when we look at this, think about it in terms of what you want to experience and how you maybe have thought about it in the past. Look at it from like the law of attraction, where it's like, I'm over here, I want to experience that over there, so I'm going to set the intention. However, a lot of times what happens when we do that is we end up seeking something that is outside of ourselves. So we're going for something over there, and if we want to change it, we think that we must change it over there and then try to get it in here. Now, in actuality, when you look at the holographic nature of reality and how things work, the way to go about it is more so to change us on the inside, how we relate to everything, how we define things in our life, and then the outside begins to change. So this is also with the awareness that our reality is a reflection of what we believe to be true. So depending on what we believe to be true, that's going to be what we perceive in our life. And if we are going out and trying to change other things, we're going about it backwards. Think of it like reality is a mirror, and it's always reflecting back to us the expression that we are putting out. And we know that if you want to change the mirror, you don't go over to the mirror and you don't try to move the expression on your face. You don't try to do anything that's going to influence the mirror, except for first off, change yourself. So a lot of times people will come to me and be like, hey Aaron, I want to attract this kind of money in my life. I want to attract a relationship in my life. I want to attract all these things in my life. And they want to change the outside. The key is not to try to change the outside, is to change the inside. And you change the inside by letting go. By letting go of things that no longer serve you. If you say, well, I always attract this kind of person in my life and I want to stop that pattern, then look within yourself and see how you can let go of those old patterns. If you want to attract abundance in your life, understand that there's always abundance of something. It's just, what are you defining to be abundant? Are you saying lack is abundant in your life? You're saying, well, there is no abundance in my life. There's only lack. Well, then you're saying there's an abundance of lack in your life. That definition of the way you define reality is being projected out, and other people are responding to that vibration you're putting out. In the same way, if you feel unworthy to be in a relationship and you go out into public and you're meeting people and you are projecting out that you don't feel worthy, guess what? They're going to feel that unworthiness off of you, and that's going to influence how they interact with you. So be aware of that, because then the key goes, and the purpose of this video is to show you that what you must first do is go within yourself and see how you can change on the inside. Because reality is a form of hologram anyways. Reality, just like the microcosm, the macrocosm, just like what they're proving is that it's the reality itself may be a form of matrix. It's a projection. And that's empowering, because at a greater level, you are unconditional love and peace. That is who you are. This life experience is more so just a dream that you might be currently having. It's a dream. It's a long, consistent dream that has continuity, so we think it is all real. There's a past, present, and future. However, be aware that in this process, what you can begin to do is begin to remember who you are at a greater level. Because when you do that as well, when you remember who you are, you let go of a lot of the attachments that are holding you back in your life. Because the thing that normally stops people from attracting what they want is they have attachments. Attachments to ideologies, attachments to perspectives, and these attachments literally weigh down people's energy. So be aware of what that is, and understand that if you really want to change your life, it is not about changing anything on the outside, it is about changing how you relate to the outside. It is about changing how you define things in your life, because your definitions create your kind of experiences that you're having. And the more you become aware of these things, the more that you start to take your power back. So for this process, what I also want to share with you is that of the self-image. It's been a while since I've talked about that. But our self-image creates our life experiences. Whatever you believe to be true about yourself, and whatever you think your potential is, that will be what your subconscious mind keeps you within the reality of. Because the way our self-image works is our self-image is what is called a cybernetic mechanism. A cybernetic mechanism means that whatever we have, whatever we are tuned to, we will do everything we can to be consistent to that. So if you have a self-image that says, this is how I see myself as only able to make $50,000 per year, I see myself as only able to be in this kind of relationship or relationship at all of these different definitions you might have, well, you may say, well, I want more than that. But saying I want more than that isn't necessarily going to get you there unless you change on the inside. You change the way you see yourself. You let go of the governor switch that is keeping you within that realm of consciousness. So for this process of understanding the holographic manifestation process, the key to it and the way you go about it is you go within yourself and you change how you relate to the outer reality itself. So if you have these rules in your mind that say that making money is hard, or all of these things, then what you do is you become aware of your definitions, because unless you change your definitions, the outside will remain the same. Unless you process the emotion of the past, of feeling scarcity, of feeling not worthy, unless you change those feelings of the past, you will continue to create them over and over again. The key is going within yourself and changing the way that you relate to the outside. And you always ask yourself that question, what is this trying to show me right now? What is this circumstance in my life trying to show me? Because when you do that, then you see how you can change it on the inside. Versus blame. Anytime we blame someone else, we're externalizing our power. When we're angry at someone else, we're externalizing our power because we're also blaming them for something that they may have done. So the key to holographic manifestation is to bring it all within, to see that everything in your life is a form of choice. Even bad things that have happened to you, if you treat them as if you chose it because of some type of learning lesson you could have got out of it, if you treat it that way, it will then begin to transform for you. Because you've then changed the way that you relate to it. So the key is to not go outside and try to change anything, to change how you relate. If you're looking for more money, look at how you feel about abundance and what you think you're worthy of. If you're looking for a loving relationship, focus on the relationship with yourself. Because as you fill yourself up with love, you will then resonate with more and more people that can then love you, and that can then feel that off of you as well. So this is about being aware of how you interact with yourself How do you feel abundant with yourself? How do you feel love within yourself? How do you feel healthy within yourself? To then see how things begin to change on the outside. But this is with that awareness that the outside is simply a reflection. And when you go within yourself and you start to see these little things, these definitions that you might have, that's when you start to take your power back. Because our definitions many times are also subconscious. We're not really aware of them. We just say things. Like, people always DM and ask me questions like, Aaron, how do I do this when this is happening? And it'll be like, how do I attract a relationship when all the girls I meet are superficial and materialistic? Well, within that definition itself, it says that all the girls you meet are superficial and materialistic. There's a definition there. There's a pattern that says that that's how reality is. That's not how reality is. That's something that's happened that you gave a meaning, and then that meaning generated that kind of experience over and over and over again. So the key to this process is being aware of those definitions and understanding that once you change the definition, you change the outer experience. Because reality itself is the reflection. So that's the point of this video, is to, instead of look at reality and try to change reality, realize that reality is just a projection. When you go out to meet other people, you're literally projecting your emotions and your things onto them. And they're mirroring your beliefs about yourself. They're mirroring the patterns that you have within you back to you. So be aware of that. And the way that you change that is you go within yourself and you see how you can let go, surrender. Set the intention to let something go. Set the intention to surrender to past patterns. Set that intention, because as you do, you let go of the attachment you have to it, and then you allow yourself to transform. Transformation really is a choice and then a level of letting go. Because the old paradigm doesn't work anymore. The old paradigm isn't working, and you're choosing to let that go. And the new paradigm is full of uncertainty, but that uncertainty is beautiful because that uncertainty will allow you to experience more than you priorly have. You cannot create something new from the old paradigm, the old way of thinking about things. Because if you think the same thoughts, you feel the same emotions, you do the same things, you'll get the same results. If you want to experience more, realize that you must go within yourself and then transform from within yourself in a very powerful way. So take your power back. Understand that the more you take your power back and the more you see things in your life as a choice, the more that your life will begin to transform before your eyes. Understand that at a greater consciousness point of view, you are unconditional love and bliss. You may be having this temporary dream of life, believing that this is who you are, but understand it's just a temporary experience. You are so much more than you can even imagine. And when you go within yourself and you start to see how everything is a reflection, you can then change from the inside and change from a much more empowering place, because you're not trying to change the effects. You're going within and you're changing from the inside out. So go within. That's where the power is. Something I'm going to be doing, and something I have, is if you want to learn how to really let go of what I'm talking about right now so that you change from the inside out, the most powerful meditation I've ever created is on completing the past, which is where you bring up some of the past patterns and then you embrace them, let them go, and then you get washed over with unconditional love. This is a powerful meditation. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days. And if you want to see what's possible, just read in the comments on that video. It's the most powerful meditation I've ever created. So listen to it for 21 days. I think it'll change your life. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you want to interact with me there, I also post daily content there too, plus a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff. You'll see Instagram right here. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification here next to the subscribe button so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.